How's it going, everybody? This is Darrin with GuitarControl.com bringing you this video lesson. And today I've got 3 more Zeppelin riffs for you, and all 3 of these were by request from you guys. So like I've said before, if you just leave in the comments down below stuff you'd like to see, I'll see if I can take care of that. So be sure to click on the link in the description for the tabs, and let's get close up and take a look. Alright, so the first one we're going to look at is the riff from Fool in the Rain. And this is a really kind of a strange riff as far as the timing and stuff for it goes. But it's pretty easy to play. It's just made up of a bunch of triads. So the very first chord we've got for this, we've got this C over G. So I just got my first finger onto the first fret of the B string, and then the G and high E strings are open. Then we just go to a D minor shape, and then we move that D minor shape up a whole step. And then we're going to take our third finger and just bar across the 5th fret of the G, B, and E string. So that's the first part of the first measure. Then after that we have a rest, and we strum that A minor over C, all 3 of these, at the 5th fret. Then we're going to take our first finger, and we're going to come down and bar it across the first and the high E and the B string at the 3rd fret, and then take your second finger and put it onto the 4th fret of the G string. And that's the very end of the first measure, and then it's tied to the beginning of the second measure. And then from there we're going to do this G triad. So your first finger is already here on the 3rd fret of the B string. So we're just going to take our second finger and move it to the 4th fret of the G, and then our 3rd finger to the 5th fret of the D string. And then we rest. So that's like the first 2 measures, which is also like half of this riff. So that's the first half. Then for the second half, the first measure of that, the measure 3, is actually the same as the first measure. So we just do that again. And then the difference this time is that we don't add that G at the end. So when we strum this G over B here, the 4th fret of the G string and the 3rd fret of the B and high E, that's at the end of that measure, and it's tied to the downbeat of the 4th measure, and then it just rests for the remainder, and then the whole thing just starts over again. Like I said, it's weird because this is in 12/8, so it's like I'm not even going to attempt to try to count this. You just kind of have to feel it. And then the whole thing would just repeat. Alright, so the next one we're going to look at is Ramble On. So for this one here, if we just take the E major shape, this open E major shape that you already know, hopefully you already know that, and you bring it all the way up so that your first finger is on the 13th fret of the G string, your second finger is on the 14th fret of the A, and your third finger is on the 14th fret of the D string. And we're going to strum all of the strings open for this. Now, more than likely, this is probably actually done with like an open tuning of some sort, because there's a lot of Zeppelin stuff that's that way, but I'm not 100% sure. This is just the way that I learned how to play it. So we've got this, starting with this, it's basically we're doing E, we're just playing it a whole octave higher. And we're going to start off with this, it's just like 16th notes. So we've got down, up, down, up, down on the downbeat of the second beat number 2, and that's an 8th note, so it's just going to ring out for twice as long as those other ones did. And then this is where we're going to move to E9 suspended 4. So all we have to do is just move this shape down a whole step. So now my first finger is on the 11th fret of the G string, and my second finger is on the 12th fret of the A, and my third finger is on the 12th fret of the D string. And then we just start doing that same strumming again, but this is the second half of beat 2 plus all of beat 3 and beat 4 is 16th notes. So we're like... Alright, so that's the first measure. And then for the second measure, we're going to come down and we're going to do this A triad shape here. So the A string is open. I'm on the 7th fret of the D string with my third finger, the 6th fret of the G string with my second finger, and the 5th fret of the B string with my first finger, and the high E string is open. So this starts on the downbeat of 1 on measure 2, and it's an 8th note. And then we follow that with 2 16th notes to complete that beat, and then we continue this for 3 16th notes of beat number 2, and then we're going to on the very last 16th note of beat 2, we're going to take your pinky and you're going to hammer it down to the 7th fret of the G string. So we hammer that down, and then we strum just like that for all of beat 3, 3 E and then on the downbeat of beat 4, we strum it again and we pull off our pinky, one more strum, and then we just try to hit the D, G, and B strings open, and then and then you just repeat the whole thing. So it's like... Alright, and then finally the last one we're going to look at is the riff from Houses of the Holy. So this one here, we're going to start off with our second finger on the 3rd fret of the A string and our first finger on the 2nd fret of the D string. And we rest on the downbeat of 1, and then we play this on the and of 1. So it's like 1 and then we're going to go to... We're going to keep our fingers here, but use our third finger to go to the 4th fret of the A string, but you want to try to keep this note ringing if possible. And then the open A string, and then our first finger here, we're just going to drop it down to do like an A chord. So it's... So that's the like half of the riff, and all of the first measure except the riff starts over again on the and of 4 on that first measure. So it's like... So you do that twice. So this is where you go to here, that's on the downbeat of 1. The and of 1 is the open A string, and then 2 and with that A chord, and then on the downbeat of 3 we rest, and on the and of 3 we have this F sharp minor 7 over E, which is basically we're just going to take our first finger and bar it across the 2nd fret of the D, G, B, and E strings. So it's like 3 and 4 and that's the whole riff. Alright, so there you have it, 3 riffs from Led Zeppelin by request. So if you If you have some, some ideas for riffs in this three thing that I've been doing, leave it in the comments. Like I said, I read that stuff, and I'll try to work it out whenever possible. So if you like this lesson, be sure to give me a thumbs up and leave a comment down below if you have any questions or comments or anything about this or other guitar-related topics. If you've not already done so, please subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the content that we upload throughout the week. Well, that is all I have for you today. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.